whoever you are right now, if you're growing and you want to be this whatever new person, new year, new me, guess what? Your old you has to die.
That person's gone.
Why are you bringing up old stuff?
I don't know who you're talking about.
It's not me.
Hey everybody, welcome into Folklore and Flourish. You're here with Jane and Mark. This is a place where we take healing through a different perspective, and we intentionally are healing and growing every day through activities and discussions, small little pieces that we do daily to just remind us to keep moving forward. We're still getting better at it. It's a year-long thing that we just started together. Today we are in our rebirth, coming to the end of week 3 with January 20th. This is the rise. So today is all about the rise. Our theme is the return from the abyss. The worst is behind us right now. Right now we're going to see some hopeful skies, some patched up skies.
A little foreshadowing there.
Ooh, say what? And today is just the rise, and our 4 stories are Greek, Christian, Egyptian, and Chinese. So here are your 4 stories, and we'll see you after this. Before we begin, I want to take a moment to honor the cultures behind the stories we are about to explore. The tales shared here come from many peoples, lands, and traditions. I do not change these stories to fit modern expectations or to align with today's social standards. Instead, I present them as they were told, sometimes beautiful, sometimes harsh, sometimes challenging. We are not here to judge the past, but to understand it, to listen, to learn, and to honor the ancestors who carried these stories forward. We also share stories from various religious traditions. These are presented in their historical and spiritual context, with respect for their beliefs that they represent. Every culture deserves respect, context, and acknowledgement, and this space is dedicated to doing exactly that. Story 1. Persephone returns from Hades. When Persephone rises, the earth remembers her. Her descent into Hades was sudden, violent, and absolute. One moment she was Kor, the maiden of flowers, gathering blossoms beneath a wide sky. The next, the ground split, and she was taken into the underworld, where light does not linger and time does not soften grief. In Hades, Persephone did not die. She endured. She learned the laws of the dead. She learned how silence speaks. She learned what it means to be witnessed by shadows and still remain herself. Days passed without seasons. Nights passed without stars. And in that place, Persephone changed. When Demeter searched the world for her daughter, the earth withered in her absence. Crops failed, animals starved. Humanity felt it in their bones, what loss means when it goes unanswered. The gods were forced to reckon with the truth that descent echoes upward. A bargain was struck. Persephone would return, but not untouched. She had eaten the seeds of the pomegranate, not by accident, not by force. She ate them knowingly, a quiet act of survival in a place where refusal would have meant erasure. Those seas bound her to the underworld, even as they gave her the strength to endure it. So Persephone rose as 2 truths at once. She returned to the surface, and the earth bloomed. Flowers broke through soil as if remembering her name. Spring followed her footsteps. But Persephone was no longer only core. She was now queen of the dead as well. She belonged to both worlds. Her return did not erase the abyss. It integrated it. Each year, Persephone descends again, and each year she rises. The seasons follow her rhythm, teaching that survival reshapes the living. What comes back from darkness does not return innocent, but it returns whole. Persephone's rise is not a triumph over death. It is a covenant with it. She shows that survival changes shape, that you can carry the underworld within you and still bring life back to the surface. That return is not restoration of the past, but the emergence of someone who knows both light and shadow and walks forward anyway. Story 2, Lazarus rises. Lazarus does not rise quickly. When he dies, he is truly gone. His body is wrapped. His tomb is sealed. The mourning has already settled into ritual and resignation. Those who loved him have moved from hope into grief, the place where prayers quiet because answers have not come in time. By the time Jesus arrives, Lazarus has been dead 4 days. 4 days means certainty. 4 days means decay has begun. 4 days means even faith has limits. Martha meets Jesus first, and her words carry both belief and disappointment. If you had been here, my brother would not have died. She still believes in resurrection, but only in the distant, promised future. Not now, not here, not this broken body sealed behind stone. Mary weeps openly. Her grief is wordless, heavy, and human. Seeing her, Jesus weeps too. Not because he doubts that will happen, but because loss is real even when redemption is possible. Divine power does not erase sorrow. It stands inside it. At the tomb, Jesus asks for the stone to be rolled away. Someone protests. The body has been dead too long. The smell will be unbearable. That is what survival fears most, the exposure of what has been sealed away, the proof that damage is irreversible. But the stone is moved. Jesus does not touch Lazarus. He does not enter the tomb. He speaks instead. His voice crosses the boundary between life and death with authority and intimacy. Lazarus, come out. And Lazarus obeys. He emerges bound in grave clothes, stumbling, still marked by death, even as life fills him again. Resurrection is not clean. It is awkward, shocking, unfinished. Lazarus does not walk out glowing. He walks out wrapped, needing help. Jesus gives one final instruction: unbind him and let him go. Resurrection is not only about returning to life, it is about being released from what once held you. Lazarus rises, but the community must participate in freeing him from the remnants of the tomb. His survival is not heroic, it is quiet. He does not speak, he does not proclaim, he simply lives again, carrying the knowledge of death inside a body that breathes. Lazarus' rise teaches that survival does not erase what you've passed through. It brings you back marked, changed, and dependent on others to help you fully re-enter the world. He is not proof that death is meaningless. He is proof that love calls even when hope believes it is too late. Story 3. The Phoenix is reborn. The phoenix does not escape the fire. It does not outrun destruction or bargain for mercy. Its story is not about avoiding death, but about choosing the moment of it. When the time comes, the phoenix builds its own pyre from fragment woods, spices, and resins. Myrrh, frankincense, cinnamon, the materials of both burial and blessing. The fire is intentional. This is not an accident of fate or a punishment from the gods. The phoenix knows when its cycle has reached its end. It does not cling to its former strength, nor does it attempt to preserve what has already begun to decay. Survival, in this myth, requires consent. The flames consume everything. Feathers blacken, wings collapse. Song becomes silence. There is no rescue, no intervention, no witness to soften the burning. The phoenix is reduced completely to ash, indistinguishable from the fire that ended it. Nothing recognizable remains. For a time, there is only stillness. No movement, no promise, no proof that the story continues. Then, from the ashes, something stirs. At first it is small, fragile, barely alive. The new phoenix does not rise fully formed. It begins as a fledgling, weak and untested, carrying none of the grandeur of its former self. The strength it once had is gone. The memory remains, but the body must be rebuilt from the beginning. The new phoenix grows slowly. Its wings strengthen, its feathers return. Its fire is quieter now, internal rather than consuming. The myth does not say the phoenix is grateful for the flames. It does not glorify the burning. The fire is not described as beautiful. It is described as necessary. This rebirth does not undo what was lost. The old phoenix is gone forever. The new one is not a copy, without repetition. Survival here means transformation so complete that the past self cannot return, even if it wanted to. The phoenix teaches that survival is not preservation. It is succession. You do not rise because you were untouched by fire. You rise because something in you endured long enough to become something else. The ashes are not a failure of the past self. They are the foundation of the next one. The phoenix flies again, not because death was defeated, but because it was faced, entered, and allowed to finish its work. Story 4. Nuwa restores the sky. The world breaks suddenly. The sky splits open, the pillars of heaven collapse, and fire pours down while floods rise from below. Mountains crack, rivers change course. Beasts roam unchecked. Humanity is caught between flame and water, sky and earth no longer aligned. This is not a test of character. It is catastrophe. Nuwa does not cause the destruction. She arrives after it. She surveys a world that has already failed in its own balance. The damage is too large to reverse, too widespread to erase. There is no returning things to the way they were. So Nuwa does not try. She begins with what remains. She gathers 5 colored stones, each imperfect, each fractured, each bearing the mark of pressure and time. She melts them together, not to recreate the original sky, but to seal what is broken. The patch is visible. The repair is not seamless. The heavens will always bear the scar. She then slays the great turtle, Ao, and uses its legs to prop up the sky. This act is not gentle. Restoration here requires sacrifice. Something ancient and strong must fall so that the world may stand again. Stability comes at a cost that cannot be undone. Nuwa controls the floods next, redirecting the waters instead of eliminating them. The rivers still exist. The danger still exists. But chaos is shaped into boundary. Survival again is not erasure, it is containment. When the work is finished, the sky remains tilted. The sun and moon no longer rise evenly. Rivers flow toward the southeast. The world is subtly, permanently changed. Humanity survives, but the imbalance lingers, woven into the fabric of existence itself. This is the lesson Nuwa leaves behind. Repair does not restore perfection. Healing does not remove all damage. Survival does not mean returning to symmetry. The world continues not because it is whole again, but because it is held. Nuwa does not stay to rule. She does not demand worship. Her work is quiet, structural, unseen once complete. The people live under a patched sky, supported by borrowed bones, walking on land that remembers collapse. And still, life continues. Nuwa teaches that survival after devastation is not dramatic. It is practical. It is patient. It is incomplete. The cracks remain visible so that the living remember what it cost to keep the world from falling apart. The sky holds not because it is healed, but because someone chose to carry its weight. Hey everybody, welcome back in. Hope you enjoyed those 4 stories. So we are at the end of week 3, or reaching the end of death and rebirth. Today was all about the rise in the month of the Seeker crossing the veil. This is our month between worlds. A lot of heavy shadow work, that deep transformation in these winter months. So today's daily thread for the rise, our theme was returning from the abyss. Our lesson is that survival changes shape, not spirit. Our daily thread is that across cultures, return is never reversal. A queen rises carrying the underworld. A man breathes again, still wrapped in death. A bird becomes ash before becoming flight. A goddess patches the sky and leaves the scar. Each story teaches the same truth. Survival does not restore the old self. It reveals the new one. Persephone, we've seen her a number of times. So her story obviously aligns with that shadow work. We've said that another person that is very similar to that constant transformation is Odin. But this is from about 800 to 400 BCE. This reflects the Greek understanding that descent isn't failure. It's preparing you for your return. So it prepares you for the other side. It leaves you changed.
Something kind of beautiful about it, Like,
what do you think it was preparing Persephone for?
Like
right?
going
so
down?
The rising and that descent helped her. The descent itself prepared her for her return back. What are they all returning back to?
Not themselves as they were. All these stories, I wrote down some stuff this time. This was something I was going to bring up after story 3.
Okay.
But it ties in. So, like, your old self must die. It has to. Whoever you are right now, if you're growing and you want to be this whatever new person, new year, new me, guess what? Your old you has to die in whatever way that is. Spiritually, everybody is different. Some people go do deep meditation. Some people go to retreats. Some people do plant medicines. Just there's a bunch of different ways you got to figure out how to get rid of your old self, shed that old skin to become something new. Had she not done that, she wouldn't have been able to fulfill her purpose. If you want to, I believe, fulfill your purpose, you need to shed that old skin.
Your purpose is unexpected.
That's true too.
Right? She did not plan for any of it. I mean, we've seen her several times, like I already said, but she was ripped down.
You know what's funny?
She chose the fruit, but there were choices of survival there, and then her acceptance. All of this happened without her being able to take a breath. It feels like. And she just flowed with it. She absolutely accepted what was happening to her, her destiny.
Right.
That's what it very much feels like, is that she, of all of them, this happened to her and she was the one that dealt with it the best. In terms of she wasn't lashing out, she wasn't killing the earth, making it weak.
Man, the way you're describing it, I can relate to her in the way you're explaining it.
So do you want to explain?
So, like, where I was pulled down, like, where it's like life smacks you, and then you get smacked again.
It wouldn't be a fall if you were always expecting it.
Yeah. So already being down and thinking you're working on things yourself, making yourself better for future, And then you get that next just gut punch, and it just knocks everything out. And you're like, whoa, reevaluation. My life freaking sucks. Now I'm pissed. I'm at the bottom. That's what I felt like. And then I ate the fruit. I changed the trajectory of my life. It did. I went down to the lowest spot where I thought I could be. Not many people even knew it, because that's who I am. I just walked around acting who I was. And that's the unfortunate thing with mental health too. With me, with some of that stuff, people, no clue, and then it's just a snap. And then you work on yourself again. But a lot of that in who I became and who I believe I'm becoming is because of that break. Because I was totally okay with just being that whatever, typical work for 20, 25, 30 years, you know, hope you can live through retirement for a few after. Like, that was, you know, I had no other big plans, like the desires and the dreams, but nothing was like, it more than likely wasn't going to happen.
You're just kind of floating.
Mm-hmm. Just like being, like, not even like you experience things, but like not truly in a happy way.
So like the things that you were experiencing, like, let's reflect back to when you had it all, per se. You know, everything was together.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be whatever it was for you. But how you felt when you were happy then, how does that happiness relate to now, after the fall and the rise? Like, does your perspective of happiness change? What it means? It would have to, wouldn't it? Because your perspective of rock bottom has changed.
But happy's still happy, and
Right.
love is still love. So at that time, what I felt happiness was, I was truly happy, you know. And then you have things happen, but that doesn't take away, if you look at just that moment for what that moment was.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I believe it's negative if you try to erase that. You know,
And you don't have to,
and
but you also
diminish
don't
it.
have to defend it.
No, and that's
Like, it is what it was.
Right,
And it
but
was
it's-
appreciated the way it was.
when I look back and I look at those happy moments, I was truly happy, and then I got it all truly taken away. That forced me to take the actions that I took to get myself to where I'm at right now. So had those really negative things not happened, those horrible things and those just things where I was just like, oh, why God? Had they not happened, I wouldn't be sitting right here. That wouldn't have happened. Like, I truly believe it. And that's why I've said it multiple times. Everything happens for a reason. You just got to figure it out. And if you can, like me, I chose to make positive choices with my life. I chose to take action. Whereas some people take that heartbreak and they sit in it. And you can for a time, but give yourself a time limit. Because if you sit in it too long, then you're just going to be in it forever. So one of the biggest downloads I ever got was like, sit in your suck, but set a time limit. Because if you don't, you're going to ruin yourself.
The second one, the Lazarus rising.
Mm-hmm.
That one is talking about how the rise is a communal thing, a group thing. To rise is very hard to do alone. And some would say that part of the process requires that you have others.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I had no idea that the Lazarus was there for 4 days already.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea about that. I didn't really even know about this story, though, to be fully honest.
I kind of like thinking about it in the way you just said, like the rise is a communal thing. So like if you're not thinking about it in the aspect of he rose from the dead, but like he failed, like look at it in that type of aspect. Like he fell down and then the community needed to help him.
Yeah.
So they had to change his clothes and they had to do this and that, you know, to help him rise. And he didn't have to talk about it. They just did it. You know what I mean?
That just made me think of spouses that have to do that. You kind of think that at the end of the road, yeah, you're taking care of more of that stuff, like when you're both old and everything.
Right.
But you don't ever want to think about your partner in their strength and in their youth needing you to change their clothes and take care of them. Spouses' roles in the community's roles in helping people when they are weak, when they are rising.
Right.
And that's what this kind of reminded me of is...
Hats off to the ones that stay, too. So many could run and they...
It's not my best self. If you're having to change my clothes and help me, you know, take care of myself, it's probably not something that I'm comfortable with.
Right.
It's probably a nightmare, and if someone's doing it, like, it is what it is. We don't need to pretend like it's a great time or wallow in the suck, like you said. Appreciation of that, like unspoken, because we don't want to relive it, but spouses that stay.
I'd have a stink chart level for the person.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be like, all right, today you're a fucking 3, so good. We're going to keep that level. It's not bad.
We'll bet.
And then you get over 5, 6, motherfucker, we're changing your diet. No more donuts.
I haven't even had a donut this year.
This whole year?
Yeah.
How long can you make it?
I'll probably till tomorrow. The third one, the Egyptian one, the Phoenix Rising, it chose its death.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it made it ceremonial. That's something that we've moved away from. You know, a big major one is the Norse one. And I've told you before, my dad wanted a Norse funeral.
Right.
And why we don't keep to some of those ceremonies.
Do they not do some of that over there?
I think they do over there, but I mean in general. Instead of just having the coffins, but like the ceremony of the herbs and the earth and the rituals. I wonder if that died out because of like heresy and witchcraft.
Probably. Craziest thing though, not until recently did I honestly thought paganism and being pagan was like evil.
Yeah,
because
like
that's how I was raised,
like,
for the most part. It was like, that's an evil thing.
Like sacrifices and stuff.
Yeah, like all the bad stuff. And then I start seeing like what it truly is and what it's for, how it's actually used to be more of one with the earth and live with. And I'm like, wait a second, why is that bad?
That one is talking about the voluntary surrender. So you're voluntarily surrendering to destruction because it's a condition of renewal. In order to renew, you must surrender. We surrendered a while back. But you have to surrender again to rise.
I don't even think the surrender is before you even rise. The surrender is when you choose to allow the fall to happen.
Oh, yeah, I'm saying that there's several surrenders.
Now, just one of my things that really caught my attention during the story was a quote from it, is the ashes are not a failure of the past self. They are the foundation of the next one. It flies because it faced death, not defeated by it. Now, the last part is not a quote, just the top part was, but it flies because it faced death. I really like that. Like, and the fact that the ashes, like, so many times did I look at my failures like that. I had just seen something today that said, who you are in this moment, you have to die spiritually. And then a new you, a new one, the phoenix, comes out, right? And I mean, I just heard something about that and watched a video on that today. So it's like, it just totally aligned with all of this. And the fact that I didn't even know we were doing these stories today, and then I watched that. I love that stuff. Your old self, you have to die. Who you are now cannot go on.
And the last little bit of that one, the self that rises is never the self that burned.
Yeah.
So that self that burned is gone.
Yeah, exactly.
You are stepping forward. And that's in a society where people want to bring up your mistakes, your past. Don't acknowledge it.
Yeah.
That person's gone.
Why are you bringing up old stuff?
I don't know who you're talking about.
It's not me.
There have been times where people brought up other people that aren't fond of me, right? We've parted ways, and they brought them up, and I have said to them, I don't know who that is. Not because it's rude or I'm trying to be rude or that I didn't appreciate. They meant something to me when they were in my life.
Yeah.
They did. They were a vital part. They were obviously positive for the time that they were in my life. Why else would I have kept them, you know?
Right.
But that self is dead and gone. You don't even relate to me anymore if that's all you want to talk about.
Right.
And if that's who you know me as, then you don't know who I am.
Exactly.
And that was a big, major thing about, I think, choosing your kind of social death. Is certain people will never let you go from the idea they had for you, you know?
Right.
They won't let you
You will
escape
always
that.
be that.
Yeah, and then there are others who don't even acknowledge that because they know that you can be more. They're waiting for your fall and your revival, and they're going to be there. And those are the people. Like, there's always someone
Yeah.
that will be on the other side. So it's worth sacrificing the many that you'll lose. And that's a social debt that we don't really talk about.
Yeah, but they're not even worth it.
There is that fear. We are social creatures.
Yeah, for sure.
And being alone, to let your ego die and to acknowledge that they
ego is the
aren't
hard
a loss.
part.
They aren't a loss.
Right.
And that's your ego that gets scared of that. So another death that we don't really think of is that social one. Number 4.
That one had a hair,
is
though.
about the rise through sacrifice. Kind of what we were talking about a second ago with the spouses. Thinking about the sacrifices that were made in order for us to have a chance. Haven't really reflected on those in a while, but at what point do you think you're allowed to start thinking yourself being the one that made sacrifices? Remember the sacrifice others made, but also acknowledge what you did.
I 1,000,000% think myself. Because I truly believe if I don't thank myself for doing something, then, like, who gets that credit? Like, me.
Talking about that early on in our relationship, I had mentioned that that was something I wanted to work on or something I wanted to be good at as a partner, is appreciating you. Do you think that I have gotten better at that?
Yeah, no, I
I
appreciate
mean, we've had some struggles in the past, like, I mean, just the cold months, you know, that espresso. So we forget to do that, but I've been trying to remember that.
You do pretty good. I appreciate that.
What does it mean on days when you when you feel like you're struggling? You know, how does it feel to hear that from a partner versus how does it feel when you're struggling and you hear it from yourself? Do you want to kind of explain that to people? Like the importance of both, being recognized and recognizing yourself.
Sometimes it's hard to recognize.
That when the importance of a partner would
I think that's definitely when it is like, man, when someone checks in on you, that's pretty awesome. It makes me feel good. I would want to say impossible to say that I never was checked in on before. I wouldn't like to believe that that's true. I just don't feel like I was.
Wasn't the same as now. You probably were, because I doubt that you would have stayed in a relationship long without anything, though.
Right. Like some of the things that I was lacking, that I wanted, right? I remember having conversations with my friends after the fact about you, and like it was like a high five thing, like, oh, cool.
About me?
Yeah.
What about me?
Like just like it's like an attention to detail almost type of thing. Like it's things that you do that you bring out of another person, like your spouse, whoever that is, or the person that you're with. If you find yourself having conversations with a friend about how this person is doing something that you really felt like you never got before, probably pay attention to that conversation that you're having and who you're having it about, because they're probably pretty significant.
So this story of Nuwa, I've never heard it before.
Where did this one come from? You said
from China.
From China.
I didn't even study any Chinese mythology until last year. That was my first time really diving into it. This one, I've noticed a lot of the Chinese myths, but this one in particular is that it talks about order a lot. And this one is talking about how order is not preserved through purity, but through deliberate, sacrificial intervention. So that lasting imperfection and how we have to survive in lasting imperfection. It's kind of funny because we always say, how is the earth perfectly here, floating in this in space at the perfect gravity for us, whatever, and then we find out that we aren't really suited for this.
Right. We're the only mammals that aren't suited for this planet, actually.
But we say that it's like perfect for us, you know, it's perfect.
We're able to habitate.
And this myth shows that, no, there were things that were changed or fixed or rearranged to fit us.
Yeah. Well, something broke. Some catastrophe happened.
Is this the firmament that broke?
That's what it sounds like.
The skies tore open.
The skies tore open, and then she took 5 stones, molded them together.
Used the elements to...
She used all the elements, seals it, and then I even wrote it down, but I thought it was funny because it says the heavens will always bear the scar. So then I was like, what is the scar? Okay, I want to know.
So... today's reflection question: how did your survival remake you? Talk about how the fall was unexpected and you related to Persephone and the coming back out of it. How do you think that remade you? So happiness doesn't change, but do the parameters of what makes you happy change?
Yes.
Are they
And
more
what
defined
is more,
or less defined?
No, it's more, and it's what is acceptable. What I choose to make me happy now is different. And we experienced that the other night when we were watching that movie. I was watching a movie, and it was the atypical type of movie that I'd always watched.
Oh, yeah, the like goofy, lighthearted.
Yeah, the goofy, whatever. Nothing wrong with the movie. Comedy was funny. I could follow along. I had already probably known what was going to happen when I first started watching it. But movies like that, that's how they are. I don't think I finished watching it. It was kind of late and I was tired. Typically with movies, with me, I am so that type of person that I have to follow through.
That parameter of what entertains you, what makes you happy has changed.
Yeah, it has, and I love that for myself, because the more things that waste my time, like watching a movie that now I don't find interesting, is so beneficial. Like, if you truly look at it and you're like, man, I don't like watching these type of movies anymore, guess what? You're going to start watching less movies. If you're just finding things just don't interest you, you're going to start finding the things that do interest you, and you're going to do more of that. And then next thing you know, you're totally a different person.
Yeah, your habits change a lot when your body and your soul want learning.
Yeah.
When that learning is something you need to feel good and you enjoy doing, your hobbies, when that's an aspect, that's when you start the mundane things, the things that aren't interesting, the same old, it's not something you can sit through anymore.
Yeah.
So you start to shift, and I would rather watch these short videos where I'm learning something.
Yeah.
Or I might just sit with critical thinking. Like, even if it's something that's totally different, it's an obscure way of thinking.
Right. That stuff's fun, though. You know, just whatever gets your brain thinking, not the stuff that makes you not think, where you're just like a zombie, you know. And don't get me wrong, yes, I will still watch those.
100%.
Guarantee you at some point in time, I'm going to be sitting there
times to take a break,
and I'm going to want to take a break. But the things I've done to like start changing myself, and that realization is just really kicking in with the fact that, and then I know I brought it up a couple times, but man, with talking about what we're talking about today, like, it's really kicking in.
I have had a big shift, and I told you about it, and you said that I didn't need to change this aspect of me, but I did. I really was into the crime stuff and like the prison shows, Orange is the New Black. Something about it is just, it's making me feel ucky.
Yeah.
Like when I watch it, and I noticed a long time ago, I told you that when I couldn't separate that darkness anymore, it was just that anger all the time.
It's a real life thing.
That's something that I stopped doing, and that's been a huge shift in my day-to-day. Then there are the silly shows, that 70s shows, for example.
Right.
You know, where I'll play that in the background when I'm doing stuff. I'm not fully invested in it, but it's something that you catch little glimpses of, and it makes me happy. So there is that sense of I'm in the same page that some of that mundane, like, okay, you don't really have to think shows. I love them, but I love them as background.
Yeah, which is interesting, because the way I watch things is, if I'm going to watch something, I want to watch it, because I like to immerse myself in it.
Right, but I am someone that repeats series.
Right. If I already know what's going on, I'm like, and I'm the type that I need to find out what's happening. But then once I find out what it is, I'm like, all right.
Our activity for today, which is going to be exciting. I think so. It's just something small like usual. But today you're going to wear or carry something new. Okay, so you're going to wear or carry something new on you today.
Okay.
And that's to mark that the one who returned is not the one who left. We do not measure ourselves against who we were before. So it's very important that we should not measure up to who we were before we fell, before our death. It's gone. Your mind has the memories, but it's moving forward with knowledge, wisdom. So we measure ourselves by what we endured and still carried forward. What did we make it through? What did we rise from? What did we carry forward, and what did we gain along the way? So that is our application, and we're going to wear or carry something new to acknowledge that it is hard to let go of who we once were, to let them die. And it is sad, but it's also okay. It is okay to be someone new.
Right.
It is okay to change your destiny or to step into the destiny you were always meant to have. It's okay to be okay with yourself after you have gone through a huge change, after you've left part of you behind. And so, a little bit of grace, and we're in our rebirth. So now we got to take breaths and remind ourselves that it was for a purpose. Anyways, thank you guys for joining in to Folklore and Flourish. We will see you tomorrow on January 21st for our final day of week 3. We are already at the end of week 3 of January. So hold on tight and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you guys. Love you.
Thank you for walking this journey with me today. These stories are more than folklore. They are the heartbeat of our world building, the inspiration behind our characters, and the soul of the Legends Reborn Chronicles. By exploring these tales, we honor the past, ignite the present, and breathe life into the legends we're creating together. To see more of Mark and I, as well as additional scenes, discussions, and healing, check the links below that will lead you to our various social media platforms. Please also feel free to ask any questions or leave any comments in the episode below or in future episodes to come. We would love to hear from you. Until next time, may your path be guided by wonder, curiosity, and the magic of the stories that came before us. Blessings, and I'll see you on our next folklore journey.